This is my final video for tonight. First off, I want to talk about the wrestling world. I wanted to be a wrestler once or twice and kind of still do, but at my age and my hip, it's not going to happen. I have accepted the reality of that. However, something came across my FYP earlier, either today or yesterday at some point at some time, which my idol, and I'll say it proudly, my idol, one of my favorite wrestlers, Chris Benoit. You know. Now, apparently, I watched all the crime things or whatever this FP thing was, and at the end of one of them, it said that I don't know if it's true. So if it's true, this video has merit. If it's not true, this video still has merit. It just doesn't have as much merit as if it was true. So it said that Chris Benoit's oldest son was blacklisted from most wrestling companies because of his father, which I like to call bullshit. And if you're a wrestling company and you're doing this to Chris Benoit's son, that speaks volumes on you. All right? And the reason why I say that is because I'm not a very religious man. I do believe in God. I don't push that on my social media at any way possible if I can help it. But the Bible does say sins of the father are paid for, but that of the son. But the son hasn't committed any sins. I understand how that works. And it would be completely unfair if like major companies or big companies would just decide, yo, we're not going to let Chris Benoit's son wrestle because he's Chris Benoit's son. Because he looks exactly like his daddy. And people may think of a ghost. And they just don't seem to want to give this kid a shot. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the biggest load of BS I've ever heard in my life. Alright, as a martial artist and a wrestling fan, I feel really, really bad about this if it's true. If they're blacklisting him for the simple fact that he's Chris Benoit's son, you guys are cutting yourself short. Because Chris Benoit, regardless of what everybody else says, Chris Benoit, hands down, was one of the best wrestlers of all fucking time. He will probably never be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He will probably never be in the WCW Hall of Fame. He probably will never be in the Hall of Fame of any wrestling company that he's been through. Which is also unfair and biased. That is completely biased and definitely not fair to the Benoit legacy. But the thing about it is, his son is not him. His son should be given a fair shot to compete as a professional wrestler. And if I had anything to do with it, he'd be wrestling. Especially like if I ran companies like MLW or BEW or WWE or freaking TNA or AEW. If I had any of those companies and I was in charge, David Benoit would be in there because his father was a great wrestler. If they didn't stop David Flair from wrestling, they didn't stop what the hell is her name? Tessa Blanchard from wrestling. They don't stop one of the Andersons from wrestling. They don't stop a Steiner from wrestling. But they just all out blacklist the shit out of a Benoit. The last Benoit. For wrestling anyway. And I think that's a load of crap. And I'm sorry. And I would say this. I will say this because I don't want to make this video too long and I'll start getting emotional because of my feelings towards Chris Benoit as my hero, as my idol. I will say this, and I will say this with my full chest. If David Benoit really thinks about it, there is a solution to this problem. I'm going to say it like this. El Luchador, get a mask. Like one of those. And go for it. Go for it. If I was healthier and younger, because I'm like almost 50, I just turned 49. So if I was healthier, younger, and maybe if they didn't have some thing about people who's 5'3" and men, I would go after my wrestling dreams with my full chest. I'm an actor, so I'm going after that with my full chest. Yes, I am about to finish school for police science and criminal justice. I have my criminal justice certificate in this box behind me, and I'm going to get my police science associates. Do I want to do that? No. But I will do that until I get to where I need to be when 9-9 has other people knock my door down and everything else. I'm not giving up on my hopes and dreams. I'm just taking a different damn path to get there, unfortunately, because I don't want to be famous after I'm dead, because that's not going to do me any good. I don't have any children, so no one's going to have my legacy. I don't have any kids to share my martial arts skills with, and I got at least one guy out there in the universe who says my martial arts is a joke, which is cool. You know, everybody's going to have their own opinion, and we're going to have to accept it and deal with it. Now, there's ways you can deal with it. You can take that shit personally and get mad, or you can realize this guy's behind a computer screen. Which means as long as he's behind a computer screen, he's safe and I'm safe. And we don't have to get stupid over words. It's the same thing I say everywhere else. I send warnings, not invitations. And if you're going to be dumb enough to go across town or across the universe to pick a fight with somebody that you don't fucking know, well, you might not go home. And you should probably keep that in mind before you do that. But if you're going to do that, make sure you write your suicide note. Make sure you tell everybody what you're going to do, why you're going to do it. Because if you make it home in one piece, the cops are going to need to know what the fuck happened to you when you went to your destination. Because I ain't saying shit. I'm just going to break shit. You know, you throw a punch, I'm going to break your elbow. You throw a kick, I'm going to break your kneecap. After that, I'm going to systematically take your past apart, finger by finger, and rib by rib. And no, that was not a direct line from the movie Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee where he says, knock yourself out. But what is most important is that if you're going to start some problems, you need to be aware that consequences come with actions. Now back on David Benoit. If any wrestling company is blacklisting him for the actions of his father, you really need to self-evaluate. Because that's a company that nobody should work for. You should probably go broke because David Benoit is not his father. You know? And regardless of how you feel about it, you can't deny the fact that Chris Benoit, hands down, was one of the world's greatest wrestlers. Y'all might not want to admit that, and I might be a little bit favoritism because Chris Benoit is one of my favorite heroes in the wrestling world. Doesn't change the fact that he has also done a lot for the wrestling business. Same thing with Hulk Hogan, same thing with The Rock, same thing with Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. Each iteration of the Four Horsemen, including Chris Benoit, who was the Four Horsemen. So, when you think about it, I think blacklisting Chris Benoit's son is a loaded load of bullshit. And they should not be doing that. Let the boy wrestle. That being said, I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Be seeing ya.